This week, E3 predictions. E3 is next week, and we're going. So let's make some predictions on what we're going to see, what we want to see, etc. First up is Nintendo. I do not care any less about Nintendo. We've been through this before. I don't care. My Wii U is still in the box. I don't care until Bayonetta 2 comes out. So big stinking deal. What do you guys want to
I would like to see, like you said, a new Zelda. I want to see. I want to see.
Big surprise, Zelda.
New Zelda, new Metroid.
New Donkey Kong.
They're not going to do friggin' Metroid. Do you really think?
Dude, they got to make a new Metroid at some point.
Yeah, maybe in the next 10 years.
Point. And what you're saying is Nick's saying like new Zelda, new Metroid. These are all the same games. They're tossing HD paint jobs and all their old IPs. Give us something new, Nintendo. Give us something new.
It's like Groundhog Day over here. Every time Nintendo gets brought up, you say the same freaking argument. It's the same thing.
Doesn't make it any less valid.
It's totally true. You're a fanboy. That's the problem.
You know what would get my attention?
Hey, jerk! You have a friggin' Nintendo tattoo on your wrist, asshole.
Yeah, no, I have a Nintendo tattoo from NES.
Oh, NES, I'm so fucking hip. Only playing 8-bit games.
You know what would get my attention? You remember that screen grab from a while back? It was like a concept image or something, but it was Zelda, not in the typical like cartoony look. It was like a more gritty looking Zelda, and Link was fighting a huge spider and stuff.
Yeah, that was a tech demo.
That would get my attention. Yeah. Where is that? Where are they with that? They're not going to do that. It's not, dude, too edgy for them. They're never going to do it.
Nah, dude, Twilight Princess had like a dark feel to it, though. I didn't think it was as good as Wind Waker, and then Skyward Sword was like a combination of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, which I thought was pretty good. So I don't know. I just, I think the Zelda franchise, sure, it's kind of a retread of what they've done before, but they always knock it out of the park. Same with Metroid. I mean, that's what they do best. I mean, that's why I like playing Nintendo. I like to stick with the classic franchises I know are good. If they make something new, cool. But if we're going to go back to Nintendo, all right, I want to see those classics. I also look forward to seeing X, which is supposedly going to be from Monolith Soft, from Xenoblade Chronicles. Supposedly this is the sequel.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one. I can't say either way if I'm sure it's going to be there. But
I don't know. I'm hoping there's something there though, because they showed
that does look
shots
good.
Of
Yeah,
it
I'll agree.
and Xenoblade Chronicles was awesome. One of the best RPGs in the past, JRPGs I'll say in the past like 10 years, and it was on the Wii. So the system, even though it doesn't have the hottest library, there are some select titles there that I feel like should be on the top of anyone's list if you're a fan of specific genres. That's all I got to say about that. I think there's games worth looking forward to. There's a lot of shit too. So,
all right. Anything else for Nintendo?
No.
They gotta, and they do have a couple. They gotta step it up though. They gotta step it up. The only one I care about, Bayonetta. That's it.
Bayonetta 2, yeah.
So that should. I mean, it was there last year. It should be there again.
I'll tell you guys what I want to see. I want to see a new Contra.
Dude,
all right.
I would love a new Contra.
I'll say this, Nintendo would redeem themselves in my eyes if they decided to. There's so many old titles for like the NES and the Super NES that they could go back and like say that they want to go through the HD like remakes or the HD like new versions of games. Instead of making Zelda, Metroid, Mario, etc., go back and get titles that they just haven't really focused on in the last 15 years and bring those titles back.
Well,
like
Contra,
make a new.
They can't just go and make that because it's a Konami game. But did you play
but
Contra 4 on DS? It was awesome.
But what I'm saying is they could get back with these companies, they could get back in their favors, and they could have these companies make Wii U exclusive titles using all these, granted, you get them on the DS and the 3DS, but why not make them for the Wii U?
Yeah, City Connection 2.
Man,
why don't they should make a Pokemon game for the Wii U. That would sell a lot.
I agree with that, and I agree with you. I mean,
that's a big thing that I've always been wondering this last couple of years. Why don't they make a Pokemon game for the consoles?
People have been saying that for since the games came out. I mean, it's just maybe one day. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right.
Consoles
so that's
can't
Nintendo. Great. Are they even showing up at E3 this year?
No.
Iwata's not going to be there.
Yeah, he's going to be in the hospital.
Iwata's been recommended by his doctor to stay home. So they are going to be doing the pre-recorded stuff. So I mean, he'll technically be there, but he's not going to be there, physically.
As long as they're showing some decent games that'll get me hyped up and maybe make me buy the system in the next year or two.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so I'll leave it at this. I'm not willing to write them off completely yet, but they got to step it up. They got to do better than canceled Mass Effect 3 or whatever the hell that was on the Wii U, and their other stuff that they got going on. They've done better in the past. We grew up with Nintendo, and that's why it frustrates us. If you've seen our other videos, you might think, oh, well, those guys at GameSlean are a bunch of Nintendo haters. They hate them, and they're a bunch of shitheads. It's not the case. We grew up with that shit, and it upsets us that they're blowing it now. So come on, Nintendo, turn it the hell around.
Disclaimer: I defend Nintendo in every episode where we hate on them.
Fair enough.
Except for that.
Yeah, but we hate you too.
All right, Microsoft. They're gonna do Halo. They're gonna do TV.
That's all. I feel like that's all they're gonna do.
Yeah,
I
Halo,
heard.
TV,
They say
sports,
with Phil
sports
Spencer now becoming like, well, we're gonna show more games. I doubt it. They'll show like you said, they'll show like Halo, but that's really what they're gonna focus on.
They got a lot of flack last year for just being like, here are all our dumb features for our system, and everyone was like, well, what about the games we play on it? I think this year, they'll be a little bit more game focused because. I mean,
agree.
PS4 is on top right now, I believe, and I think the E3 presentations, them showing what games we're going to play on this game console is a big reason why. We're going to see Halo, definitely, and I do want to see like a true next-gen Halo. I think that will be awesome.
Destiny, of course.
Which one?
Destiny, of course, is probably going to be prominently.
Yeah. I think Quantum Break, and then
Sunset
Overdrive.
Quantum Break.
Yeah, the Sunset Overdrive.
We'll see stuff like that. And they showed like trailers for those games. And I hope we can see more of them, like actual gameplay footage and things like that. So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like Xbox exclusives other than Halo, what else we got? Are we gonna get a new Gears of War? Maybe, probably. I don't know. I feel like.
Oh yeah, is Black Tusk working on that? I think they've got one
for the new one. They took it over. Yeah,
I think there's a good chance that game will be there. In some form.
I wouldn't be
That's
surprised.
I
mean, not like I've actually heard anything because I'm such a big person in the game industry, but I feel like it's been a couple of years and where this is like going into the second year now of their next gen, the next gen console, the Xbox One. I feel like they should. We could see a heavy hitter like this coming up to really help.
That's a solid seller for them, I think.
Because that's like what their number 2 franchise next to Halo. So
yeah. In the meantime, 50 books have been written. The plot isn't going to make any sense because I don't read that.
Unfortunately, yeah. Well, especially with Gears 3.
Video game expanded universes.
I mean, I'm gonna pull that every time.
I'm gonna even add this to the Microsoft because for most of the 360 it was an exclusive, and hopefully we could see like a new Mass Effect. I don't know if you guys are.
I hope not.
Well, they'll probably have that at
I don't know about that.
They'll have that at EA's press.
It's
very possible.
Yeah, EA will have. I mean, I don't know. One of the consoles could, like Sony or Microsoft, could grab it to show for their
presentation. Yeah.
For a presentation,
True,
Microsoft showed off The Witcher 3, even though that's not exclusive to them. So
yeah.
Whatever. I wanted. Yeah, if it's there, awesome. Because I'm also curious about that. But no,
they're definitely going to show MG the new Metal Gear game. I think both.
Both conferences.
Oh yeah, that's without a doubt. Like I mean, there's just going to be more. I feel like we've seen so much of that game though. Like I'm not really looking forward. I'm looking forward to playing it, but I'm not looking forward to see it at E3 because it's like we've seen a bunch of it. I've read article upon article upon it. Like I want to see something that I've barely seen or just something that's completely surprised me and blown away. So
it's not coming anytime soon either. So
yeah.
Probably another year anyway.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So what about this? What about the other rumor I've been hearing is 360 price cut. So they cut the price of the Xbox One to bring it in line with the PS4, but
so it's going to be
the 360 still has some life in it, though. You think they're going to knock the price down for that?
It's very possible.
I could see it going down like $50. Like I think they'll knock $50 off.
Something to like get those like budget gamer sales in like last minute. I think didn't Sony do the same thing, or they plan? It's the same thing.
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
So now what we've got is the next gen systems have been out about a year. But the other, the example I heard was there might be some of these families that they bought the Wii way back for their little kids, and then now those kids have have aged up a couple years,
there's a
so
market
now
for
they're
it.
ready for the next one, so they're not going to spend the $400 for the
I don't know
the
if
highest one. They're going to get the Xbox 360.
Yeah, that shit ain't backwards compatible. So
well, too bad.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, think about it. Every generation, even back in the Nintendo, they had like Super Nintendo came out, and then they came with the top-loading NES. Super Nintendo didn't really have anything, and Genesis had like a couple versions of that. But even like PlayStation had the PlayStation Mini. PS2 had like newer versions. I mean, it's going to happen. They release new versions of them that get at a reduced price for just the people who are missed out in the last 10 years. So
Now's the time to get those consoles anyway, because all the they've obviously already made all the best games for
that's
that
true.
generation.
I mean, I
Yes.
can't wait. But I mean, I will say this: someone getting an Xbox 360, or I was late to the PS3 games.
PS3,
360
yeah.
first, but it's awesome. It is awesome when you wait for these consoles and after they're like a couple years old, and you just like have this whole library of games to go through. Can't argue with that.
Yeah,
but
I mean that's what I would do. I mean, if I was willing to wait the 6 or 7 years, like say for example, yeah, I mean,
can't.
yeah, I know you can't, but like now is the perfect opportunity to play like the dozen or so games that are
Yeah,
like
for a
must
younger
plays.
kid, that's
if you're-
awesome
if
though.
you're the
Who's
person
not
that
really
hasn't
maybe in
played
the
them
know. Like that's cool. Like
Yeah.
so, it'll make somebody happy. That's
Yeah.
that's all right. And
That's it, right?
Cool. All right,
Summer
yeah.
vacation's coming. I got nothing better to do.
Crap. All right, well that brings us to Sony. What do we want to see from Sony? Guaranteed stuff from Naughty Dog.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so
now-
we see
now we're
Uncharted
talking.
Before I
4.
get that freaking Last Guardian, I don't know.
So hold on,
There's a bunch to talk about here. I don't
So,
know.
all right,
I
so
think Last Guardian might be MIA again, dudes. I don't know.
I
Let's
think
just-
we'll see the
wait,
Last
let's
Guardian
just-
after
we should
seeing
go right down
that-
the line here.
Huh?
I think that we're all the most excited about Sony, so I think we should just go down the line here.
Yeah. So we'll start with the Last Guardian. I'm the most excited about the Last Guardian. This came out in 2009. It was revealed, and now it's
something like that.
2009,
I
2010.
feel like
and
now
then,
that we're in the second year of PS, or we're halfway through the first year. Actually, I don't know why I keep saying second year, but I feel like they did their presentation for like the launch. Now, same thing with Xbox. Now it's like, okay, you saw the system, you saw the features in some of the games. Now here are like the actual games. I think this would be an opportune time for them to show, hey, Last Guardian. I know it's left no one's mind. Everyone's been asking about and thinking about it, and I feel like there's been hints dropped about it within the last year. Like it's still
it's
around.
It's not in development. It is in development now. So
think
I
we'll
think
see
I think this is the year that you're going to see it though. But another game that they showed last year was Final Fantasy 15. They showed the trailer
Yeah.
for that, and now I'm excited
That's a
about
given.
that game.
I-
Square will push that for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, definitely.
There's no way that
Definitely,
won't be there.
Like,
It's
I-
the director
Square-
of Kingdom Hearts who's doing it.
So that would be,
Yeah.
I think that would be good. I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of 13, but I'm willing to give this game a shot. I think it'll be good. So
yeah. Those are the two games out of all actually E3 that I'm really excited about. Is the Last Guardian.
What are you
and
looking
Final
forward to?
Fantasy
Uncharted
15.
4? Yeah, no.
Uncharted 4.
Yeah. I guess maybe I'm just I'm.
You know, you could get the Uncharted 3 single player. You can just go and get it now, and anybody can.
Yeah,
play
yeah,
it for
it's completely
free.
for free. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool if you haven't
Yeah,
played
they
it.
did that this week. What else? Can't think of what else for Sony. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
God,
Well, I'll tell
God
you
of
what's
War.
going to be the king of PlayStation
Oh,
4.
what did you say earlier,
And
that
this
project-
this is gonna be the crown on the system's head that deems it king of this console generation. Project Beast from Software, which I wouldn't be surprised it gets renamed to Dark Souls 3 or Demon Souls 2. I'm thinking it'll be Demon Souls because even though they're pretty much the same game, I mean, there's differences. They're very similar, if anything. Demon Souls is exclusive to Sony, which is why they had to change the name to Dark Souls, and that was on 360 and PlayStation. So I think this is going to be a true sequel to Demon Souls. And this IP has picked up so much steam. I mean, from Dark Souls to Dark Souls 2, like everybody is playing this game. More and more people are talking about this. This is going to be the next gen one. I feel like people are just going to eat this shit up, and me being one of them. And I think this is going to be a huge push for PlayStation as far as making it like the number one system.
If they have something like that, do you think they would have like a playable demo?
I don't know. I've seen supposedly videos of it, and there's some screen caps, and it all looks legit. And there's been a lot of talk about it. I don't know if it's playable. I will friggin' flip out. But I just want to see a full blown trailer, if anything, because it hasn't.
It'll be if anything, I guarantee it'll just be a trailer. It's too early.
And
to have.
I'm cool with that because we just heard rumors of this. So I don't. I just want to see a reveal and some small bits of information. I just want to know it's coming. So that and the obligatory Witcher 3.
Nice.
I'm also excited for that.
Definitely.
Like every year. I
Cool.
mean,
Well,
All right. So any other, maybe not platform specific or exclusive, any other games? We
Destiny.
were talking about Destiny. We were talking
yeah,
about
Destiny.
what was
Destiny, I think will be
Resident
cool.
Evil 8 a little bit before. Yeah.
7.
Yeah, I think
25.
the
7, 8, yeah.
game-
Resident Evil, I stopped caring after
I
4.
played them all. I played all the mainline ones. What is it? 7 now?
it's 7. I mean,
Right. Okay. Yeah.
In terms of the games that I'm looking most forward to, I mean, I really like survival horror. So I'm looking forward to, even though Resident Evil it kind of sucks now, but I am looking forward to Resident Evil 7 just to see if they're actually going to like
Yeah,
put it,
I agree.
pull it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, maybe a new Silent Hill if they're able to like pull that together too. And obviously, The Evil Within. The Evil Within will definitely be playable since it comes out soon.
Yeah, that's
so I mean,
one
I'm really
definitely want to
yeah.
get my
Yeah,
hands on.
we got to get all over that one. That one that one was at E3 last year, but it was only
Right.
like
It's-
development
it's-
walkthroughs and trailers.
Yeah.
It's obviously going to be playable this year.
Definitely,
so I mean,
definitely.
I would say those three are probably the three things
I
I'd most
agree
be
with
looking
you.
forward to.
I'm not the biggest Silent Hill fan. I like the first one. I played a little of the second one. I just never followed the series, and the later ones I thought were
You never
crap.
played the second one? The second one's the best one.
I know. I never finished it. Like I don't know. Like I was more of a Resident Evil guy. Like I hate to be that person. I'm this guy. Like I'm a Nintendo guy. I'm a Sega guy. I grew up in the '90s. But that's like one series where I just never went to it because I was always so into Resident Evil. I agree with you
like
on Resident Evil.
you like Twin Peaks and like all that kind of stuff too.
I know. But it's
I'm
just not
surprised.
that.
I'm surprised you don't like.
It's
Silent Hill.
actually not my type of horror. Like, I mean, it kind of is, but it's just a little too like
Weird?
I can't explain it. Where Resident Evil's like an Italian like zombie movies. That's why I liked Resident Evil. Like, that's why they're good.
The first three maybe, but then
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why like 4 I liked that. Everything after that, like I tried playing. I beat 5. I thought it was junk. I couldn't even get into 6. I just thought I thought that was horrendous.
Well,
but I agree with you on 7.
Anyway, yeah.
I
Survival horror.
think, I feel like that game got so much flack that I feel like they're going to want to turn it around and bring it, maybe not like, I don't expect a
kinda
new
heard that
Resident
about-
Evil 2, but
I heard that about
Hopefully.
6 though. They're like, oh, this is going to be more like the old style.
Oh,
No, it definitely was
oh my
not.
god, there was a spin kick button in the friggin' game. You could just hit a button and Leon was just like kicking zombies in the face. I was like,
To be entirely honest, I think what's going to happen, and I think what will dictate the course of Resident Evil in the future. All right, so Shinji Mikami is making The Evil Within. If The Evil Within is super successful, you're going to see a whole bunch of traditional survival horror games again. If it's not successful, they're going to keep making action crap fests because it's like they're going to be like, who cares? These games still sell.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
I could see that coming to pass. Yeah.
I can see
From
maybe
what,
like
from what I
taking
did
over
see
the
from
movies.
Evil Within, because I saw the trailer at PAX, something about it definitely seems really stiff to me. Like I don't know, it just didn't look as good as I thought it
that's
would
how
be.
I like my survival horror games.
Yeah.
Stiff.
It's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to make you feel helpless.
Bring back
and
Yeah, well,
take
not
controls.
in that
And
way,
you're supposed
but
to-
just like
you're supposed to fight the controls, and it's supposed to be impossible. That's part of the whole thing that they have going.
They should bring back, you remember the D series? They should bring back D.
Oh yeah, D.
D was awesome. I think the last one they made was for
maybe we'll see
Dreamcast,
D
right?
this year. Yeah?
Yeah, maybe. No, and other than that, I've heard. I actually am a Siphon Filter fan, so I've heard a rumor that
Oh,
Sony's
yeah.
Sony's going to show something about that.
Yeah, whatever happened to that series? Yeah,
Maybe.
I'd be pretty pumped for that. The Siphon Filter games were badass when they came out. Like,
They made some for PSP and PS2 and stuff, so I mean, we'll see.
But that was still forever ago. I mean, the ones I played were awesome. The PSP one was fun too. So
Yeah, I mean, aside from that, I mean, like like you guys are saying, Destiny is going to be there. I mean, we're definitely going to see probably The Last Guardian, maybe something about The Last of Us. I mean, obviously a new Uncharted is going to be shown.
Yep.
So I mean, there's going to be a lot of good stuff. But I mean, this is going to. Last year was the systems. This year is the games. So I think that this E3 is going to determine, at least in the initial phases of the of this console generation, this E3 is going to determine who's on top for sure.
PlayStation.
So Sony's got a big lead coming out of the gate and going into E3. So I think, we've mentioned it before, but I think Microsoft is in touch with things, and they're gonna bring some. I think Microsoft will definitely bring some heat and try and get some of that.
Definitely.
Some back.
I mean, Halo, and maybe potentially Gears of War, no joke. But like I said, but at the same time, people maybe are getting a little bored of that. That was a big franchise in the last decade. Going forward, my personal opinion, I really think Project Beast is going to be a huge sell point for their system because it's going to be exclusive. It's going to be new. I mean, there was Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, but this franchise, it's still like in its infant stage, kind of. So
I mean, it's established now. I would say it hit its stride.
yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
At this
Yeah,
point.
so it's getting so much momentum now, and where this one's going to be exclusive, I think a lot of people are going to be turned towards that direction because I mean, Halo's. I like Halo. I'm not like the biggest fan, but in the end, it's a first-person shooter, and I mean both systems have them now. So where something like a Demon Souls or a Dark Souls or a game like that that's exclusive, I mean, I
Brings
like I
it
said,
up.
that
big
could
draw.
shift things if
Big draw.
you're a
Yeah.
fan, if
Oh,
you're into
totally.
that particular.
totally.
Right,
So
right.
Well, is that it? Metal Gear? I guess Metal Gear, we're sort of looking forward to that too.
right.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
it.
Yeah.
because that's been out. That was, revealed like last year, a couple years ago, and I just expect it to be there. So
Yeah, I mean, they might have a playable build at this point, and we're going to see a longer trailer. So Metal Gear will be there. I mean, probably a new Castlevania thing. That seems like it's always at E3.
Listen, as far as Castlevania is concerned, if it's Lords of Shadow 3 or whatever the hell, I don't care. If it's a new Castlevania for the 3DS, that's in like the vein of like Symphony of the Night, like they were doing on the Game Boy Advanced and the original DS, then
That's a
sign me
different
up.
story.
Because those games are friggin' awesome. Like, more Metroidvanias. That's also, I don't know any games that are going to follow this formula, but if there's a Metroidvania out there, I'm also excited for that.
Maybe Nintendo will make the big move to make Castlevania 64 HD. That seems like a HD
Yeah.
paint job they just throw in a game.
That'd be an excellent investment.
I mean, they've made similar investments lately, so why not?
All right, well, there you go, guys. That is our prediction for E3. E3 is next week. We're going to be there. We'll have videos going up every night at the end of the show. So definitely check out our channel for that. We'll have all the E3 coverage we can handle and that you can handle. So there you go.